Hello guys, welcome to my channel. I'm sorry we had to the live had to come to an end. I experienced a blackout, a power blackout, so I wasn't able to continue with the live. So I'm sorry about it. Please forgive me for that. So I'll quickly go straight to my introduction. Good evening, family. Thank you once again for joining me tonight. I appreciate your presence, your time, and your hearts. Just as I mentioned before, I don't know. I'm really sorry that the channel. I'm sorry. I'm super. Okay. I'm sorry. We ended things not rightly because I experienced power blackout. So this conversation, as I mentioned before, is a gentle and a very. It's deep, and a very gentle conversation. It's a story of pain that it's a story of that reflects pain, healing, and silence, just as the title suggests. And this story may reflect someone's truth, maybe my truth or someone else's truth. But again, before we begin, I would want to mention this. I believe in the power of storytelling. I believe in what we call the tool of storytelling. And now, with that, I got motivated because when I always go for physical, mental wellnesses, I prefer helping someone start a healing journey by advocating for storytelling. So I chose that it will also be the same thing I should do when I'm doing a live stream. So today is a little bit different from the previous live streams we've been doing before. Yeah. So I am an author. I've just like started writing a book, not yet completed. It's my very first book, and I've equalized it to an eagle. So I'm not gonna talk about it, but because of this live stream, I wrote a book. I just like wrote a story to help us reflect on this story. It's a fiction story that will give someone healing. So this is my journal. I love journaling. I love writing the story that I've written for you all. So this is clearly my handwriting, as you can see. So, a trigger warning. This story that I'm about to read for you is actually it touches on sexual abuse. And at any point you feel like you're overwhelmed, please you feel free to step away, breathe, and come back later. So your emotional well-being, as I mentioned before, during when I started the first live before it came to a sudden end, I mentioned that your mental well-being really matters to me more than it matters to anyone else. And if you know you're feeling touched and you can't stand it, please step away a little bit, take a breath, then come back, because we need to you can't keep on staying through the live when your mental health isn't that okay. So let me just do some settings when it comes to chats. So the live chat is on, right? Okay, so that's basically it. Feel free to comment on the chat box. So I I want you to know that this channel is basically a safe space to anyone. It's a home to everyone. I'm not here to judge anyone. I'm just here to hold your peace, to let you understand, and to remember that to remind you that healing is possible. It's just a matter of taking a breath, and then let's proceed. So if you're in here, I want to read for you a story that I've written, and I've written it in I think in 5 segments, and those 5 segments are basically the topics I want to tackle when it comes to mental wellnesses. I want to know if my chat box is okay. Can you please, if you know, I can see I have an audience of 7 people. Can someone please text me a hi so that I can see that we are all together in this? Yeah, I need to know that my chat box is okay, that everyone is okay to chat freely. So I'll start. Some stories are not told for pity, they are told to remind someone that they are not alone. Tonight's story is one of silence, pain, and healing, and it's about a little girl whose life changed at tears and the woman she became later, still and later on, and still learning how to heal. So, this story can be my story, it can be your story, or it can be someone else's story. So, yeah, let's walk through this journey together, the journey of healing. And as I mentioned before, it is not someone's story, it's a fiction story. I've written this story just to help somebody who may have encountered the same issue to know how to navigate it. So, I want us to now talk about how this girl encountered pain, and I'm gonna start with I'm here to okay, she was I didn't give this girl a character name because I didn't want to fall into issues with calling people's name. Maybe I might mention a name that can be someone's true name. So no, that's why I chose to write this way. She was bright and curious, always asking questions about everything. But one day something happened that took away her spark. She was too young, but one day, or she was too young to understand that what had happened. Sorry, I'm not relaxed. She was too young to understand what had been taken from her, only that she felt dirty, confused, and afraid. She never spoke about it. She didn't even know how to. She tried to pretend everything was okay, and she laughed when she was expected to laugh. But deep down, she was learning with something painful that silence can scream louder than words. So that is the first segment. I'm now talking about this child losing her spark. She was only but 8 years old. She was living in a neighborhood, and this girl was a very vibrant girl, a curious girl who was so much okay to, she was so curious to know things. And this day, a neighbor took her spark, so she was violated, and you can see, like, no one saw what happened behind that closed door, but something just had happened. She didn't notice it because she was too young. And I now want us to understand where she came to realize that something that was not okay happened. So this girl transitioning to high school. Years passed and she became a teenager. She looked fine, but something inside wasn't. She'd get angry easily, withdrawn, or suddenly emotion. Teachers thought she was moody. Friends thought she was complicated. But she was just carrying too much. She began to realize what had happened years ago wasn't gone. It had shaped how she saw herself, her confidence, her worth, even her relationships. She started hating mirrors not because she didn't like it, but it's because she didn't recognize the person looking back at her. So this is now where this pain comes in. When I was answering, when I was responding to some of your Q&As, guys. Okay, guys, please, if you know you're here, kindly just send a hi so that I can know if you guys are allowed to. Okay, thank you so much, Sandy. I hope you're doing fine. Yeah, so as I mentioned on my previous live, I talked about how I was telling someone that whenever you're going through pain, allow yourself embrace this pain. So you see this girl, when she was young, her spark was taken away from her and she didn't know about it. But later on, when now she has grown into a teenager, is when she realizes that what had happened earlier on is now affecting her way. So when I mentioned about you not embracing the pain at the moment, when I was mentioning about you guys embracing your pain at that time it has happened, this is actually what I was trying to mean. I was trying to say that, if right now something befalls you, don't run away. Don't do things to distract you from feeling that pain. Some people always tend to now get themselves involved into drugs and substance abuse, and because they feel like the moment they've intoxicated themselves, they feel like now they're okay. Hi Silas Koech, I hope you're doing fine. Kindly subscribe to my channel. Same to you, Sandy. Please subscribe to my channel. So most of the people intoxicate themselves with that excuse that the moment they're intoxicated, they can literally not feel the pain. And some people will now venture into listening to music, sleeping a lot, So at times when you do that, that pain will always still come back whenever you're not distracting yourself. So anytime you have a problem, you have a pain, please learn to embrace it. As this girl, she didn't embrace it before because she was too young, she didn't know about it. And later on, now she has grown into a teenager, and now is when people have realized it. She went silent, and remember, her drawings are actually people saw her, she wasn't okay. And I want now you to understand that maybe you've also reached that point in life where your past starts hitting on you. Remember, it's just that healing is calling. Don't run away from it. It's healing calling you, okay? Yeah. So I want to take you into my second segment now, the journey towards healing. And before I talk about the journey towards healing, I want to mention that pain has got no voice. Okay, pain has got no voice become that pain that actually has got no voice always becomes the prison. Yeah, when you go silent the moment you're experiencing something, it turns out to be the biggest nightmare or the biggest monster you can face. Yeah. So I'll read this. One day, she had a story from someone brave enough to talk about the pain she had incurred. And in that moment, something shifted. She realized she wasn't the one, she wasn't the only one. So she began her own journey, journaling, praying, and reading and finding spaces where people could talk about healing. It wasn't that easy for her. There were relapses, nights of crying, days of pretending, but there were also breakthroughs, moments of peace, small victories, and a growing belief that she could turn her pain into purpose. So I want you to know that for her to be able to learn that she can turn her pain into purpose, it was because someone saw her silence and helped her make use of her voice. So you need to know that what is it like? You can only heal the moment you identify you have a problem. And you see, she realized that she had a problem. It's just that she was being too hard on herself. She didn't know how to go through each and every situation that she faced. So guys, I'm just here to talk to someone that when whatever thing you're facing right now, please don't just go silent. Some people use this quote that says, sometimes it's good to be alone, not to feel lonely, but to have time for yourselves. But again, I disagree with it for a fact that most people use that quote to just go silent and battle things on their own. And that now, this is now whereby you'll find somebody has done this thing, they're having time for themselves, and the moment they can't recover, you'll go somewhere and you find someone has used a rope to, how do I say it? Someone has used a rope on his or herself, or maybe someone has chosen to poison his or herself. So depression is real, guys, and it's just a matter of us making use of our voices. And with that, I want to give you a question. What do you think can help you feel safe again whenever you didn't feel like you are in a good state of mind? Please feel free to use the chat box. And for those guys who are going to watch these later, you can as well comment down there. I always read your comments and I like how you guys are always cooperative. Yeah. To my new subscribers, to my new members, the people, if you know you're new here, kindly don't leave without subscribing to my channel. I'll really appreciate your presence once again. So I want us to talk about healing. I want you to know that healing doesn't happen within one day. Healing is not a straight line. It is not a slow return to yourself. And it's something, you see, like this girl grew and one day she laughed again. She started laughing again the moment she realized that someone else has also undergone the same situation as hers. So she later on turned her voice, her voice returned, not that loud, but it was now present. And now I want you to understand, why am I saying that her voice was present? It was now because she chose to turn her pain into purpose. The same way the lady she had from speaking had turned her pain into a voice. And now this now leads me into this thing we call embracing your scars. Appreciating every scar, because every scar is beautiful and every scar has got a story it tells. So I'll continue with what I wrote. Years later, the same girl grew into a woman with a mission. She wanted to protect other children, to create a safe space where no child will ever have to stay silent like she did. It wasn't about revenge, it was about redemption, helping others become her way of healing herself. And when we turn our pain into purpose, it doesn't erase the scars, but it gives them a meaning. Just as I mentioned before, healing is just not a one day thing, it happens over time, you know. And this girl here, this little girl, chose to use her pain. With the moment she grew up into a big woman, she chose to use her childhood pain and help another child learn how to use their voices. She turned her pain into a bigger voice, because she felt like her main mission now was to save a generation. And as I mentioned before, I do mental wellness coaching, and I've given some few episodes when it comes to breaking cycles. It is just not a matter of me giving you a topic to go listen to and give me views. It's not about getting views. It's actually about I helping you walking through some journey, the journey of breaking some cycles, the journey of healing, the journey of growth, you know. So yeah, that is the thing. So if you're listening to this and you have ever carried a silent pain, I want you to hear me. What happened to you was actually not your fault. You did not deserve it. Your voice did not lie to you. It is still here, and your healing is not impossible. It's basically possible. As I mentioned before, that healing is literally possible. Okay, guys. So I want to know if you're together. You can just like send a wave, or maybe shout a hi. Just write there a hi. Subscribe to my channel as well, so that I can know we are together into this journey of healing. So I'll give some few affirmation, because I really advocate on what words of affirmation can literally do. When I was tackling rejection, I talked about you associating yourselves with faith-filled people, because they'll always make you know that you're worth doing some things. And now I want you to know that your pain is valid, your story is not shame. You deserve to love, you deserve safety, you deserve to heal. So those are the affirmations I can give you as my audience. Okay, so don't run away from your pain, never feel ashamed of your pain, because that scar that you have right now is gonna tell a very beautiful story. And each and every person who has got a story to tell, they always have a very ugly scar. So learn to embrace each and every scar. So I want to again tell you that healing is just not about forgetting, it's about remembering with purpose, with peace. And tonight's story, I think it reflects now the journey of healing. So if you know your story is similar to what I've spoken about, or maybe your story is, you know, somebody who has gone through the same story that I'm talking about, you can refer them to my channel, let them come here. And now, when it comes to my profile, under the description box, I've given my email, I've also given my business number, my WhatsApp number. You can as well text me there. I always listen to people's stories. I can give you guidance, not at a fee. I just do it voluntarily, because I believe my work is to save a generation, and we can only do this. It's a matter of learning from each other, and learning some things, relearning, you know. So let's do this together. Let's grow and step ourselves into the journey of healing. And I'm a Christian, and I believe in the power of prayer. So if you know you can pray anytime you want to embrace any journey of healing. Always remember your creator. You might be a Christian, remember the importance of prayers, and even you can make use of the Bible. At times, you can find solace in it. If you know you're a Muslim, still prayers are very important. And if you know you're from any other religion, prayers are very important. Besides that, I want to weird habits you didn't know you had. Weird habits you didn't know you had. What's that weird habit I didn't know that I had? I feel bottling up issues was the weird character I had. I liked bottling things up whenever I'm feeling pain, and later on I'll burst out. So yeah, it was so weird. Thank you for the question. Yeah. So I want you to know that you can always feel free to talk to me. You can always feel free. And then I'm gonna add in my social handles, both Instagram and my Facebook handles. At the same time, I'm going to add a WhatsApp link to my mental health organization link. Hi Dize, where are you watching me from? Kindly subscribe to my channel. Yeah, so I'm gonna add the link too. You can join in because I always do mental wellness is there. I guide people there, not at a fee. I'm just here to help you go through this healing journey. So you can always feel free to talk to me because I've told you I create a safe space for everyone's mental health. So I have some few things I would like to request you as my audience to do for me. I wrote like 3 questions for you. Tell me in the chat, are you still with me? I just want you to say hi if you know you're still with me. And secondly, have you ever seen someone change like this girl that I've just spoken about? This girl who turned her pain into something beautiful. Oh wow. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for engaging with me. I really do appreciate you. And also, I want to know if you know someone who needed to be heard. So if you know someone who needs to be heard, you can refer them to this channel. Let them make use of my number in the description box. Chat me on WhatsApp. You can as well call me. I listen to everyone without judging because I believe I've been given the grace to just help someone. I'm not that perfect, but at least let's learn together. Let's know how to embrace and let's take care of our mental health. Yeah, so guys, I think that is basically it for today. Thank you for staying with me through this. Thank you for listening with your heart and not just your ears. Trauma is heavy, I understand, but healing is real, and no one has to walk through this journey alone. If you need support after this live, please take time to rest, drink water because it's very important. Sit with yourself gently. As I've mentioned again, you can text me on my DM. You can as well send me emails. For those people who feel like they can't chat with me through WhatsApp, you can as well send your emails. I always read each and every mail. And also remember that you're worthy of peace, you're worthy of love, and you deserve to heal. So if today's story touched you, it spoke to you, or something happened in your heart, I invite you to stay connected. Please like, share, subscribe if you haven't. And not it's as I've mentioned, it's not just for numbers. It is basically for us to be able to walk through this journey together, not you walking through the journey of healing alone. And I'll go live again soon. I would love for you to be here with me. And good night, because right now it's night. Yeah, it's night. It's almost, what's the time? Almost 11:27 p.m. And may your heart rest softly. Good night, guys. See you in the next live stream. But before then, I had promised I'm gonna drop a video on overthinking. It will be premiering tomorrow, so stay tuned as breaking the cycles of overthinking will be premiering. So bye, guys. See you tomorrow during the premiere of Breaking Cycles of Overthinking, and maybe the day after tomorrow we'll be going live again just to speak something else. You can as well write to me what you feel like should be discussed in our next live stream. Bye.